I was asleep when I heard a voice calling. Amin, wake up and go onto the net and get the messages for your people. So I woke up and guess what? Okay, guys, so welcome to Classic Entertainment Gist. In fact, about this issue, I believe recently that was my last post. Sorry about that video. I think I didn't get the picture quality very well. Where I was Forgive me on that one, but I believe that this one is accurate and it's normal. Yeah. And about Ken Ofori Atta, we've heard so much about his arrest. And now said the lawyers AC Edibebe Tujano. According to the news we are gathering now, it's like they are hiding something. We've come to find out certain reviews about the arrest. We are here to talk about it and then to let you know about three things. One, Ofori Atta turn it down. Ghana embassy UK wa brekwa. Omo say omo eko tie anase omo kotie na no asem na nka kwan bi a mo nso befa so betumi aboa no mo aboa no Ken Ofori Atta turn them down. And again, you say Ken Ofori Atta ne visa no anaye ka ho asem se ebia na ne visa na expire anase overstay muntina enam so ema yede echi no. It's not like that. Now the visa was revoked. We'll talk about that one. And the last one yebekasa afa ho so no neba ana you or apply for a visa ediaman. A permanent residency visa edi amano sa UK. Now, this is your first time watching my videos. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel. YouTube now here. Subscribe to the channel. Say TikTok on now here. Then you try to follow and then you like the video like that. You can also share the video to others as well. Yeah, Facebook and so then you give a follow and a like. Now, let's get into the story. And now said they made the buy, it was announced to say Ken Ofori Atta was arrested while Brekwana Otu and Amon said Ebeya Obitmi extend the visa. And now you say a visa extension and now say a change of status. Na oyen among for be abe videos omokasa for home visa adjustment whatever visa extension almost say brofum adjustment nature say or apply for permanent visa and extension no is something different as a change of status no say what na money be mu for a certain time or visa no expire na mum be apply say e bia opese we extend the visa na say change your status no from this visa to another visa. Change of status no say ebia visa na odi buy no sponsor no wo say sponsor no from this visa no this sponsor to another sponsor UAE hasie no basically sana ye de no etie oje visa African eba ha na say tourist visa after 60 days so the 60 days no buy 60 days no eko na we ya they be able to be an overstay mum. And definitely you have to change your visa status. And also no oko na se opese osisa visa status now. You might get another sponsor or no ebe mo da kwanya no to apply for even another visa ebe to me aye tourist visa. And now po say ebi nso a ye betumi ama wo company ebe mo da opportunity say bi a person nso no oye visa edema internet and also no hosa I ubitumi apply for that one. I know be company visa. Now wabitumi asti money no for that time and I say for long. Now let's get into Ken Ofori Atta's own. Ken Ofori Atta the no say you say embassy Ghana embassy anka money be na say unya problem. Definitely the embassy has to step in as to how our omunso no ubitumi aboa Entino and Ghana embassy UK na say omo yes no they went to this man to see how I look pray and then aeroplane over studio. Then no. And you know, okay, sorry for that. And you know, this is what happened. The Ghana embassy, you know, echo. This is the press release that Modeba said concerning Ken Ofori Atta. Let me read it like that. It was a statement by the Embassy of Ghana, Washington, D.C. on the detention of Kenneth Nanaya Ofori Atta. The Embassy of Ghana in Washington, D.C. can confirm that Ghana's former Minister for Finance, Mr. Kenneth Nanaya Ofori Atta, has been taken into custody by Immigration and Customs Enforcement in the United States. Upon receiving this information, the embassy undertook the necessary steps to verify the circumstances surrounding the matter. Good. Following confirmation, the embassy formally contacted the relevant detention facility to request access to Mr. Ofori Atta in order to provide consular assistance in line with established diplomatic and international protocols. The embassy was informed by the facility that the detainee declined to engage with consular officials at that time without his lawyers present. Intina Ghana embassy Washington DC no almost omutu anamom eko nkrofo na Kenneth Ofori Atta ewo omunsem ne sase omopese omuhun no papa no na omotumi ene ni dinkobo na at least kwan omonso befa so a ombetumi aboa no. But then Ken Ofori Atta turning omo offer ne down say no, he's not ready to speak with anybody until ni lawyer ever. And that was it. So said the Embassy of Ghana remains in contact with the appropriate United States authorities and will continue to follow the matter closely to ensure that Mr. Ofori Atta's rights are totally respected. Ambassador Victor Emmanuel Smith, 10th January 2026, and now release this press release Ghana embassy Washington DC release this release as a press at the buy sir. Internet, that is it. On that note, you know, Ken Ofori Atta si onhobia. Now let's get into this one. Ken Ofori Atta yesi ne visa na ye ka ho asem no enye visa mo ne time aso say bia resources ano na mum the visa was revoked the Deputy Attorney General Justice Srem Sai ekan sa ewo TV3 yenti.
Now to the former finance minister, as at June 2025, that's last year, his visa got revoked. I know I have seen statements from people who said the visa expired.
I see. So as of June 2025, his visa was revoked.
Revoked. So it's not a question of expiration of visa.
No. So explain that, because there's some information about his visa expiring in February 2026. That's 14 February. I spoke to Manasseh a couple of days ago.
Take it for me.
That.
Take
so
it for me.
Explain what do you mean.
The information we have from authentic sources is that his visa was revoked in 2025, June 2025. So he's been living in America without a visa, let me put it that way, for all this while.
Since June 2025?
That is the information we have.
His visa was revoked?
Yes.
So
it is not everything I can put to you, but it is just surprising that we have information from people out there, some purporting to be formal information, which is completely contrary to what the reality is.
Which is what, for instance?
Which is that visa did not expire.
True.
Visa got revoked.
That's what some of his persons who speak for him have been saying.
Precisely. So I'm saying that apart from extradition, there are other ways of making sure that persons
come into the country.
Exactly.
So this is one of them.
And the Attorney General's office is exploring every possible avenue of having anyone who has run away from the Republic to be returned to accountability.
So,
and we will succeed.
You will succeed. You're making this emphatic statement on television today that you will succeed.
We will use every possible legal means to bring anyone who is running away from justice in this country.
Including Ken Ofori Atta?
Yes.
Very good. Enti wutie papa no so na nsem na ochiri mu na ense papa no visa no You chum, Ghana for you chum. You visa say a year then sorry, America for a cancel no. What I said, the visa was revoked. Meaning the visa now or the call money no America no. Actually no omuhuye. Na ejina so a omode ye ne se papa de chirimu a. Eye obi bia we di Ghana nya bia oye na adwene se obedwane akwakotena manfoforo so no kwan bia Ghana befa so a omo nso no ombetumi ama sa nipa na aba back no ombefa so enti e sa na montuo no hunna enam so ma eye Ken Ofori Atta ne visa na ode call America no omo revoke ye enti no definitely Ken Ofori Atta had to come to Ghana na mom senka so oba Ghana no that is where the next point comes in ho na omo se eye ne ba a ono no ewo America onon mum eno nso eye na adwene se sanet ye dia ne papa status no obema no abeye permanent residence ewo eye America. Let's listen to lawyer Martin Peku.
Lawyer Martin Peku, you a few weeks ago had put out some information that you had picked up that Ken Ofori Atta was working on getting a permanent stay in the United States of America. And this particular development, as captured in his lawyer's statement they put out yesterday, that Ken Ofori Atta has a pending petition for adjustment of status. What the expression they use there is that he has a pending petition for adjustment of status, which authorizes a person to stay in the United States legally past the period of validity of their visa. Does this give any vindication to that statement earlier?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So we'll start with the lawyer's letter. So the lawyer, that's the Menka Premu, they admit that Ofori Atta has a pending petition before the immigration authorities of the U.S. to adjust his status in the U.S. That phrase, to adjust his status in the U.S., that's the part of it that says that he's applied to change. So he wants to become a permanent resident. That's why he has a pending petition to adjust his status. So pending petition for permanent residence. You know, I had mentioned earlier that the information I got about two months ago was that his son had applied for him to become a permanent resident. So the son is a citizen, right, of the US, and he has applied for Ofori Atta to become a permanent resident. And you know, it takes some time. And so that's the process that he's going through. Yes, if you're a citizen of the US, you can file for your father, you can file for your mother, but it takes some time. And that's what he's going through, right? So I'm happy that you see the lawyers have corroborated it. Some, as I said a few months ago, about 2 months ago, when I first mentioned it, people were asking for my source, and even some others doubted it. But now there you have it in the lawyer's letter saying that he has a pending petition to adjust his status in the US. That's to change from visitor's visa to become, or a visitor, okay, or a person on business trip, to becoming a permanent resident. So from the name permanent resident, it means that he'll be permanently resident in the US. Of course, he can travel all along. I mean, he can travel anywhere he wants to go and come back freely, better than those who use the B1, B2 visas. When we say B1, B2, that's the normal visitor's visa or business trip visa. When you're a permanent resident, it gives you more rights in the American society, etc., rather than going on a visitor's or business trip visa. Yeah, so that is what it is. And you remember, at that time, we complained vehemently that was it that the OSU was delaying the trial in absentia to give Ofori Atta more time in his application to become a permanent resident, because it didn't make sense. Why all this while the special prosecutor was fighting that no, they will not do trial in absentia, they will not do trial in absentia from January, then eventually in November, they now say yes, they will do it. After giving Ofori Atta about 1 year, you see, to consider his options. That was really, really unfair. And that's how come we keep saying we want accountability, that the special prosecutor be dealt with according to law.
Very good. I hope so you've listened to him on that one also. And you know, this is how the issue is. And Ken Ofori Atta definitely for sure no I say Oba Ghana because So one a Ghana for mpanimfoɔ anaasɛ a Ghana amampanyini ne man so ɛma ɔmo cancel ne visa anaasɛ ɔmo revoke ne visa ɛwɔ America there. Now then definitely he had to come down to answer to questions. I've already informed you about the queries a Ghana for the airborne wɔ ha charges ahodoɔ a ɔmo de airborne sɛ ɔmra na ɔmra meyi saa nsɛm no anano video no sɛ wonya nhwɛ ya you can go back and then you see those charges no. And I'm soon to definitely we hope say Ken Ofori Atta obeba Ghana saa na afei no yen Ghana for nso atoto na no won nsem a omode ayebo no kwadu no. Abusia onemete up to this time, and this is what I brought, and anything that will happen and I say that will come out of this issue no, so no, you're definitely gonna bring it to you. Thank you very much for staying with me. God bless you and see you another time with another video. Bye bye.